Alright, hey, it's Rob, and starting a new thing here. We'll see how long it lasts. Sometimes my new things go for a long time, and sometimes I give up pretty easily. So we will see which one of those things will come to pass. Anyway, so I'm doing what could be a very long series called Every CD I Own. I am basically just going to make a video about every disc that I have, what I know about it. I'm not going to play any music because, of course, YouTube will get on you for that kind of stuff, but I've got to start off here with my year zero of CDs or records, and that is The Clash's London Calling. I've done an extensive video about this record and what it means to me, but suffice to say that when I bought London Calling probably in 1980, is that about right? That'd be pretty early. Probably in 81 or something like that, maybe 10th grade for me. 81, it could have even been 82. But anyway, previously I had been listening to, Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and bands I still like, but bands that were basically an era removed from my current age. I started high school in 1980, and The Clash's London Calling came out in 1980, actually in 79 in England, 80 in the States here. So when people say it's like the album of the 80s, it actually is. And if it's the album of the 70s, well, they can claim that as well because they came out right as we were starting that new decade. So, like I said, I did another video on this, and I'm not going to play any music or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about this actual package here and what's going on with this version of London Calling, which actually came out in 2004. So even this collection here is 20 years old. I guess it's the 25th anniversary collection of London Calling. Folds out like so. It's a nice little collection. I love the Neapolitan colors, the pink, the green, the white. Very cool. What you get the original disc, London Calling, of course, the original record with the perennial bonus track, Train in Vain, added at the last minute. That doesn't even appear on the LP. On the back here, it does say Train in Vain right there. The original LP did not because it was an added track they threw in at the last minute. I think it was like a flexi disc or something for a magazine, and the magazine ran out of money or went out of business or something or other. They ended up with an extra track after doing 18 of these songs. They ended up, I believe, with another track, number 19. They just stuck it on the back of the second record. It became, of course, one of the most popular songs on the record. Although it wasn't written on there and the lyrics aren't in the lyric sheet, they did scratch Train in Vain inside the vinyl there, or right outside the label, and that dead wax or whatever they call it. So the name of the song is in there. Disc 2. The Vanilla tapes. Vanilla were the rehearsal studios where they rehearsed at. They used to rehearse at a place called Rehearsals. When they had a different manager, they switched to managers. They left that rehearsal studio, and then they started recording this place called Vanilla. They did this record famously with this person named Guy Stevens, who was crazy and would yell and throw chairs around to motivate them and was drunk most of the time. I don't know. Anyway, so they pretty much produced this record themselves, more or less. The third disc on here is actually a DVD, and I'm not going to start adding up my DVDs right now, so I'm just going to call this record 1 and 2, or CD 1 and 2 of what could be a very long series of all my CDs. So CD 1 and 2 is the original LP and the Vanilla tapes. Many different rehearsal versions, demos. It says it has 5 new songs, so on top of the, all the songs on London Calling. I don't know if all 19 are on there or whatever. Well, there's 21 songs on this second record, so all the songs aren't on there. And then there's other songs in here as well. I don't remember them being anything that stuck out to me, but I should probably listen to this again. Maybe I will after this. What else do you get? You get yourself a very nice booklet here. Of course, the most iconic rock and roll picture ever taken. Here's like a mock-up of the record. Of course, it was a takeoff on the Elvis Presley record with the pink and the green text. There's lots of contact sheets, information, tells you about Vanilla Studios, tells you about what's on the DVD, which is like a 30-minute making of London Calling, including footage from the recording of crazy old Guy Stevens throwing his chairs around and whatever. And then you get what I assume more or less is a blown-up version of the lyric sheet you would have gotten in the LP. I'm lazy to look, but I seem to remember something like that in there, so probably a representation of that. And again, no Train in Vain, because it wasn't on the lyric sheet, it wasn't listed on the original album. And so there we go. That is CD number 1 and 2 of my new series, which is every CD I own. We'll see how far I get into every CD I own, but this is what I'm calling number 1 and 2, and it will always be number 1 in my heart for obvious reasons. I guess I never explained what those reasons were, but anyway, so I remember buying this at Flipside Records in Oak Park next to the Dexter Davison shopping market. I would ride my bike down there, and I remember just seeing this, and my method for buying records back then was just, I liked the cover. I don't know that I knew any of the songs by The Clash. Maybe I think I had heard that it was good. I think that's about as far as I went with it. Someone said, oh, it's really good, so I went and bought it. And I liked the cover, and I thought it looked cool. And back then, you had the radio, and if they weren't playing it on the radio, well, you really just didn't get to hear it or whatever. So I bought this record. I loved it. It really spoke to me. I just listened to it over and over and over again, so much so that I thought, I can sell all my other records and start over with this one. And that's actually, I think, what I did. I sold a big pile of records to a friend of mine at school for like $40. I got rid of a ton of stuff that, of course, then I had to repurchase later when I realized I was kind of being stupid. But I was like making a statement and saying, this is really what represents me and what I like, and this is modern, current music. And maybe it was a year or two old at the time, but this was, my identity at the time, and I didn't have to listen to that old stuff anymore. And that's kind of how I was through college, too. I didn't listen to a lot of old stuff in college. I listened to current things, bands that were happening at the time, X and the Replacements, and lots of other stuff. But this will always have that special place in my heart. And that's it. CD number 1 and CD number 2. Stay tuned for CD number 3. What could it be? We don't know. We'll find out soon. Thanks, Mike.